Hello everybody, welcome to the One Door Mental Health Facebook Live session. My name is Hugh Worrall and I'm the Support Groups Coordinator at One Door Mental Health. I'll just tell you a little bit about support groups and the connection with One Door Mental Health. Support groups were pretty much one of the first things that One Door Mental Health did when it was created way back in the mid-1980s. And in some senses, the support groups created One Door Mental Health by advocating and getting together and advocating for the things that they needed. And in a way, that's where a lot of mental health services came from. So support groups have got a long and deep history with One Door Mental Health, and we still value that connection. Support groups are a place where people come to feel they are not alone. When there's mental health problems in a family or a person themselves, sometimes your social networks can really shrink down, and it's really good to find people who understand what having a mental health problem or trying to find recovery from mental illness can be like. And when you find a group of people like that in a support group, it can be very reassuring, and you can reframe the whole situation and build your strength and move towards recovery and build connections with other people who understand and build your social networks and increase your chances of recovery and your ability to recover from mental illness. So they're very powerful and important, and it's not a new idea. This goes back a century. People have been thinking about and working with support groups. So yeah, we're very happy to meet people and to see people supporting each other and joining together to support each other through what can be a difficult time. Let me tell you a little bit about the kinds of support groups that we've got. We've got a whole lot of support groups that are connected to our carer services, and these are supported by carer advocates, and they are mostly carer groups with people who have somebody in their family who's experienced mental health problems, and they're looking for information about what the issues are and how to help the person that they care for, and also how to look after themselves and to regain their strength. We've also got a whole bunch of groups, about 20 groups in different parts of the state, which are outside of where One Door Mental Health has services. And these groups are constituted or auspiced by our organisation, and we support them to look after each other and to support each other. And these groups can run with people who've experienced mental health problems, also with carers or even supporters, and other mental health professionals can join in and try and look after each other and help each other. I can see I'm rocking the table here. So now the main type, I'll give you some examples about what meetings might be like. So we've got these things, meetings, some meetings can be called like care and share. And so exactly as the title suggests, people share their experiences and what's happened during the previous month, and they share their knowledge about what are good ways to move forward and to look after themselves and each other, and how the things that they've done that have helped the person that they're caring for or themselves. There's other groups which are called guest speaker meetings, and this is very popular, and it's been one of the staple types of meetings since the start of One Door Mental Health. And what happens there is people invite so-called experts, people who've got a lot of knowledge in a particular area, to come along to a meeting and share that knowledge in their area of expertise. And so they might give a presentation or a speech about some particular issue to do with mental health. It might be how to live with anxiety, how to deal with anxiety, how to deal with depression, how to help somebody who's living with schizophrenia, all kinds of things. So people have different expertises. So people in hospitals, doctors, lawyers, mental health care professionals, psych nurses, all kinds of people. So the people who run the meetings ask folks to come along and share their knowledge, and then people from the meeting ask questions, maybe directed towards the kinds of things that they're experiencing, and people try to answer those questions as best they can. Okay, so that's a guest speaker meeting. I'm getting some people sending me questions, so I'll get to those in a second. And the carer services meetings also can be a place where you can get education meetings. And so we've got a series of modules called Assisting Families, and the carer advocates can work with the people in the group to go through these modules, which provide a lot of information, technical and practical information about mental health and how to deal with a situation where somebody's experiencing a mental illness. And by learning a lot through these Assisting Families modules, it gives people a more sense of control over the situation and helps them improve things for themselves and for their family and the person they care for. And so that's the education kind of meeting. And the last one I want to mention is social meetings. So some people like to organise their meetings like a committee or a social group, and they make decisions about what they want to do for themselves. So they might organise a holiday, they might organise an excursion, they might organise to go to a show, things that they're interested in, and that will help them and the person or the person they care for. And so they make these decisions. They might have to raise some money to do whatever it is they want to do, and they do those things. They might have barbecues, lunches, all kinds of things that people can do. And any of the meetings can also do advocacy or community awareness raising. So sometimes people might want to do something during Mental Health Month and have a stall in the street and either raise money or just provide information to the public, and people can come up to them and ask them questions. And this is a very good thing to do as well, because we all know that we want the general public to have a better understanding of mental health and mental illness, so that we reduce stigma. Okay, so let's have a look at these questions. Gabriel's written in and said, how do I find a support group? So if you're looking for a one-door mental health support group, the obvious thing to do is to go to our website, which is onedoor.org.au. Look under the tab at the top of the page that says services and scroll down until you get to support groups. Now on there, you'll find a list of about 60 groups all across New South Wales. And it gives you contact information, both email and phone numbers, and most of them also give you the place where they meet and the time they meet. And you can make that contact and go along to the group. And you'll find other people who are experienced in the kinds of things that you're interested in, and it really benefits people. So thanks for the question, Gabriel. Rhonda says hi, and again, how to contact a local one-door service. Obviously, look at the website, onedoor.org.au, and look under the tab that says services. You can also find tabs there that give you services grouped by local area. So Belinda asks, does it cost anything to join a support group? So support groups don't cost anything. However, a lot of groups do ask or have a jar at the door and ask for a gold coin donation so that they can buy stuff like tea and milk and cakes and fruit and stuff like that, so they can enjoy their meetings, and that pays for them. But generally, no, it doesn't cost anything. So what else can I tell you about support groups? One of the features of support groups that's special is that it's a place where you get a lot of peer leadership. So people who've experienced mental health problems themselves or recovering or have recovered from mental illness, or carers who've experienced mental health problems in their family, they tend to be the leaders of the groups. And I work with those folks, or maybe the carer services people work with those group leaders, and they run the groups and they are the group leaders. And this is one of the factors that makes support groups very effective, is because people are engaging with somebody who has the experience and the personal knowledge of the pathway to recovery and how to help people. So it's a really good thing to be involved with. The number one thing everyone tells you is when you find a good support group that you suddenly realise you are not alone, and you can join in with other people who are also trying to support each other and deal with the difficult situation of our mental illness. It is possible to start a group, and we can advise you on that and help you to do that. I didn't mention fundraising groups before when I talked about the different kinds of groups. So I mentioned share and care groups, I mentioned education groups, I mentioned guest speaker groups and social groups. Some of the groups are fundraising groups, and what they like to do is raise money in their local area to provide support to their local mental health services. And in a sense, you can see the therapeutic value of that as well, can't you? That people feel empowered, they connect with each other, they build their social networks, but also the main thing for them is to improve the quality of their local mental health services by providing those services support as volunteers and financially. Okay, some more questions. Jody's asking me, are you still sending out the newsletter? So the One Door Mental Health newsletter is an online subscriber newsletter, and you can go to the website and subscribe via the newsletter page. I can't tell you exactly which part of the website it is in at the moment. I'd look in the events page, but look around on the tabs up on the top of the page and subscribe to the online newsletter, and you can find out everything that One Door Mental Health is doing. I certainly send out lots of information to support group leaders for them to pass on to their support groups, and we encourage all the people who are in support groups to subscribe to the newsletter so that they find out everything that One Door Mental Health is doing. Of course, One Door Mental Health aren't the only people who run support groups, and you can go to the Way Ahead website and look for other kinds of support groups as well. All kinds of people run support groups, and it's not just mental health either. I mean, support groups is an effective tool for all kinds of health related kinds of issues, and people have been using this to support each other for a century. It's an old idea, and it's effective. We've just completed a research paper recently, compiling some of the more recent information about how support groups are effective, and it's very encouraging. Okay, I can't think of anything else right at the moment to tell you. So I hope that's been interesting for you and told you something about support groups that you didn't know before. What I can do is tell you about the One Door Mental Health Christmas Appeal. So One Door is running a Christmas appeal, and all the money will go towards helping essential mental health services keep going. So if you're able to support that appeal, that would be really good, and it would help us keep mental health services running at One Door Mental Health. So look on the website. There's a lot of information there. You can have a look on the blogs. Richard runs a terrific blog. You can look on the website for services, look under services for your local area. And if you look down the list under services, you can click on the support groups tab, and you'll find a support groups list which covers all the groups from across New South Wales. Okay, so Gabriel's asking how many support groups are there. We've got about 60 groups across New South Wales. Like I said, all different kinds of groups. About 2/3 of those are carer groups, supported by carer advocates, Worrall Mental Health Care Services carer advocates, and about 20 of those groups I look after, and I also provide resources and support to other groups when they ask me. So yeah, we've got a lot of groups, and they're all across New South Wales. We're particularly strong on the north coast and the south coast of New South Wales. So yeah, have a look on the website and see what you can find. Of course, you can always ring our telephone number at Worrall Mental Health, and they can also help you access the list. But if you're watching this online, you're probably a computer savvy person, and you can probably find it yourself on the Worrall Mental Health website. Okay, so I think I've told you everything about support groups. Thank you for joining in with this Facebook Live event, and hopefully you'll get in contact with us at some time in the future. Thanks a lot. Goodbye.